If you're a premium member of the lynda.com online training library, you have access to the exercise files used throughout this title. The exercise files have been compressed to a zip file, and when you unzip the file, you'll see a folder called Exercise Files. If you open up this folder, you'll see two folders, Final Cut Pro 10 Libraries and Media. The Final Cut Pro 10 Libraries folder contains the two libraries that you need for this course, Final Cut Pro 10 Essential Training and Quick Start. Now, libraries are Final Cut's self-contained asset and project storage system, and they hold everything that we need for the course. And this media folder is important because it contains assets that we need for the Chapter 2 Quick Start chapter of this course. Now, it's best to leave everything inside of your exercise files folder alone. You can place the exercise files folder anywhere you wish, but for heavy editing, I do recommend placing your libraries on a dedicated external media drive. Now, one way to open a library is to simply open it at the Finder level. So I could go into Final Cut Pro 10 Libraries, and if, for example, I wanted to open up my Quick Start library, I would just double-click here, and it starts to launch Final Cut. It does give me the option of opening up multiple libraries at this time, okay? So if I wanted to open up both Quick Start and Final Cut Pro 10 Essential Training, I could Command-click on each of these. For right now, I'll just open Quick Start because I want to show you how to open up a library from within the software. So I'll just choose this, and here's my Quick Start library. Now, all of my media came on just fine, okay, because I'm on the same machine that I created it on, but it's possible you may need to relink your files, and that couldn't be easier. Just select the Quick Start library at the top, and then go to File and Relink Files. And it's probably going to send you straight to the missing screen where you're going to have all of your files listed here. I don't have any missing files, so I'm going to do the same thing, but from the All screen, okay, but the same workflow applies. So I'm just going to select All and then locate All. And then I want to go to my exercise files and then the media folder. So inside of that exercise files folder, you have those two folders, Final Cut Pro 10 Libraries and Media. I'm going to select the parent media folder and choose. And then it's going to find all of them, so there shouldn't be any files left in this window. And then just choose Relink Files, and then everything will be brought online. Now, another way to open up a library is to go up to File and Open Library, and then if you've recently opened it, it'll appear here above this line. If not, just go to Other, and then if it's in this list, great. If not, you can locate and navigate to it via the browser, like so. So there's my Final Cut Pro 10 Essential Training Library. I'll go ahead and open that. And this is the library that we're going to use through 95% of the course. And this is the library that we're going to use in Chapter 2. So, as I said, my libraries contain everything I need. If I take a look in the Quick Start library first, you'll see that there are two events. And events are basically containers where I store my assets and projects. In the Creative Letterpress event are all of my assets, okay, all of the clips that I'm going to need. And then you have Chapter 2 exercise files, and this is where you'll follow along step by step with the training. Now, some of the movies within Chapter 2 do not contain step-by-step exercise files because you're creating things from scratch in some of these movies. But some do contain specific files, okay, as you can see here, the fourth movie in the chapter has specific files, as do the rest of them. And this is where you're going to follow along step by step with the training so that you have everything that you need. I'm going to twirl this up, and now let's take a look at the Final Cut Pro 10 Essential Training Library. Again, as I mentioned, this is where you're going to be spending most of your time. Inside of here are two events. Chocolate contains all of the assets for the course, so lots and lots of clips. And these are all broken out into a specific structure that we'll explore later on. And then there's exercise files, and this is where you should spend your time. If you twirl this down, everything's organized very well into a chapter and movie structure. So for example, if you're in Chapter 4 and Movie 3, just twirl down Chapter 4, come to the 4.3 keyword collection, and then you'll find everything in here that you need for this particular movie. Now, if you don't have access to the lynda.com exercise files, then you should definitely follow along with your own assets. All right, let's get started.